Welcome to another episode of TeeVo and The Beard.
You can't see it, but I'm TeeVo, and that's The Beard.
Yes, and we're here for a, let me see if I can quote HR right. We're here for a sumptuous podcast.
Nice. Nice, I like that.
Thank you. I was trying to memorize that the whole time. So I'm going to start with we have like two mini icebreakers.
Mini ones. Mine's more of like a, kind of like the announcer guy who announces fights or wrestling matches. In
this corner.
Exactly.
So my icebreaker is I've started I've started back reading actual comics.
Okay.
I would say paper comics, but I'm reading the digital versions.
Comics is comics.
Comics is comics, yeah.
There's so many different mediums.
But I know that you go out of town, at least about once a month, it seems, to go purchase comics.
I do that because, A, it's something to do, and B, it supports, that local business.
Right, yeah.
So, it's currently a luxury I can do.
Yeah.
I'm not married to, staying that way should things, go sour.
Yeah.
So, but, it's more of like, it's just a planned event to do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. Currently, I've started reading the DC Rebirth series. So, like Wonder Woman, Green Arrow. I've even read Aquaman and been enjoying Aquaman.
Okay.
So, and a couple of the other ones. What are you purchasing when you go?
My comics, I'm pretty limited.
Okay.
Much like any book, sometimes you can't just buy the title.
Right.
I've learned that sometimes, even if you like the person, sometimes that comic series is not going to be great.
Yeah.
So, I try to think, okay, who is this writer? Because that matters.
Yes, very much so.
Who's the artist? Because for me, I was taught by people that sometimes you can write a great story, and if the art sucks, it's going to suck you out.
Yeah.
And likewise for the other way around. Art could look amazing, but if the writing stinks, killer.
Yeah, to kind of go with that, I was, a while back when it first came out, I was reading the New 52 Supergirl.
Right.
Great story in that. Cannot stand the artwork. And I can't think of who did it right off the top of my head, but yeah, it takes you out of the story.
Out. So currently, I think it's over now, but from Marvel, I was reading Mockingbird.
Okay.
I thought it was really cool, like episodic type issues. They felt like a, kind of like a spin-off of S.H.I.E.L.D, which maybe that's the point.
Yeah.
I was reading, obviously, S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
Because ever since it came out, it was like, hey, here's the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D, but here's the Marvel superheroes with them.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. It's still cool. Apparently, they don't think so anymore, because I think it's canceled.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, I saw, because Marvel had their own sort of, like, reboot-ish titles, and S.H.I.E.L.D. is not one of them. So I was like,
never really think of actual comic books being canceled, I think.
Oh, they get canceled so many.
Yeah.
And I read Spider-Man, which is not this Peter Parker Spider-Man. His is the Amazing Spider-Man. I was reading that, but I didn't like Dan Slott's kind of storyline, so I booted that one from my folder. Read Spider-Man, which is the Miles Morales one, and read Spider-Man 2099, Peter David's run. Which, for those of you, Peter David is pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I met him, actually, and he signed my #1 copy.
Oh, nice.
So it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So after the all new, all different, whatever they call it now, I think the only thing in Marvel I have left is Spider-Man 2099, which is still,
still good. Yeah.
A good one. For DC, so the Rebirth thing, I like the Rebirth.
Yeah.
But I hate that they're tricking you. They're like, it's cheaper, but we're doing 2 a month.
Right.
So, not really, guys.
Right, yeah.
So, for me, knowing that I don't have a lot of money, just putting that out there, people. So, any gold diggers out there, count us out.
Yeah, we're not your people.
Well, one is married.
Yeah, I'm married.
And one's poor, so...
Yeah, but I was poor before I got married.
I'm not dead poor, but I'm not worth a gold digger.
Yeah.
There is none here.
There's no gold. Maybe if you're like a bronze digger, maybe.
Yeah, maybe, or a aluminum digger.
Yeah, aluminum digger, that'd be perfect right there, yeah.
But, so, naturally, there are titles like, a couple of the Batman ones, The Flash.
Right.
I think there are a couple more, but they're Nightwing.
Yeah.
But they're, twice a month, and I'm thinking, I don't want to commit to a twice a month book.
Right. Yeah.
So I looked at ones that are monthly. One. And there are two, and I haven't gotten a chance to read yet, but the other one I was reading was Titans.
Okay.
Which is essentially the Teen Titans, but the original lineup of the Teen Titans, but grown up. So it's Nightwing and Wally West and Donna Troy. They're all, I guess they never stop being the Titans. They're just not the teen part.
Yeah, I've got that one in my queue. I haven't started it yet.
It's pretty good so far. And I think when I go pick up on Friday, the number 1 Teen Titans will be there.
Okay.
What interests me was, in DC Rebirth universe now, there are 2 Wally Wests.
Yeah.
The original Wally West and the new 52 one that they were like, no, he's Wally. And then people were like, they're like, oh, no, he's just another Wally.
Yeah.
So the Teen Titans has that Wally West Kid Flash, and Damian Wayne is Robin of the group.
Yeah.
So, don't know how that one's going to be, but it's interesting. I like the characters, so I'm taking a shot with that.
Yeah.
I'm gambling. I don't know the writer, but I'm gambling, and I'm hoping it's good. But at least if it's not, it was only once a month.
Yeah. So far, I haven't really been disappointed. The Wonder Woman one, it does it as 2 different stories going on at the same time, so that's kind of weird. But, I've enjoyed Green Arrow. I've enjoyed... the main Rebirth comic, the main one that came out to kind of introduce what was going on, the new Flashpoint sort of thing.
But luckily, luckily for us, the consumer and fans, not lucky for the comic book industry, but the internet exists now.
Yeah.
If you want to know what happens, you don't really have to read it anymore.
Right, yeah.
Hence how I can stay current with, various titles without reading them.
Not that we're promoting...
that.
But if you own a computer and you go to Google, you can
chances
find
are you'll find a lot of things. Sometimes you'll actually find the comic book without paying for it.
Yeah.
Not that we're saying that's right, but...
Because you should... One thing that I do like about that, not that I'm on record promoting piracy,
right?
And I'm using that term very loosely because I don't consider what we're talking about piracy, but I think sites like that are good for when you're checking out something. So if you're not familiar with Aquaman or whatever, you go read one comic there. If you end up loving it,
or there are people who do very in-depth reviews like us,
right?
And it's good to know what you're reading. You know, maybe a perspective of someone who does read it and knows who the writer is and knows what they're talking about before you jump in and spend your hard-earned money.
Right. Yeah.
So those are good.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're pirating these things like, movies, if you're going on a site that's going to give you 1,000 pop-up, maybe you shouldn't be on that site.
Yeah.
But luckily with comic books, a lot of it's pretty open.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but if you do end up liking what you're reading, then go out and support the people that make it, buy the $2.99 comic.
I can say the only time, because we've all done it, I've watched pirated movies was where I really had no money to see said movie.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I always go to
And you
theaters.
were not distributing it or anything.
No, I just watched it because I wanted to.
That's why I say we're using like a very broad, loose definition.
But I felt bad. I was like, Will Ferrell needs my money.
I felt guilty enjoying this movie. But...
Exactly.
Yeah.
But on to the real part of the episode.
Yes.
So this week, we don't usually rank the shows we review or talk about. But in this case, this week, S.H.I.E.L.D. won.
Yeah.
S.H.I.E.L.D. won.
Yeah.
You might not hear me talk about the other 2 as much. Generally, you don't anyway.
I was about to say, they should be used to that.
But this week, by God, S.H.I.E.L.D. won the week.
Yes, definitely.
Well, before we get to S.H.I.E.L.D., we'll cut back.
Let's knock out Supergirl real quick, because that's,
We'll talk about Supergirl.
If S.H.I.E.D. didn't exist, I would say Supergirl was number 1.
I would say,
this week.
Up until S.H.I.E.L.D. came on, I thought Supergirl was the better episode of the week.
Yeah, not a lot. It was one of those great episodes where not a lot happens, but at the same time, a lot gets revealed, a lot of character growth.
Yeah, you're right. I agree with that, and a lot was set up for future.
Right. So it wasn't quite a filler episode, but there were scenes that it kind of sat on that line of, okay, is something going to happen here?
Yeah.
And they did a lot of things very on the nose, like presenting loneliness and stuff like that, and then at the end, presenting coupleness.
Yes. Oh, coupleness. So,
Yes,
so
coupleness.
speaking on that. So, Alex.
Yes.
Wow. She's not even trying to be.
I literally laughed out loud a few scenes.
Me too.
Especially the end where the other girl comes up.
The girlfriend.
Right, and I read the credits. She's actually credited as Maggie's girlfriend. She doesn't even have a name.
Who cares about her name?
Right.
It's going to be Alex.
So she's not going to last.
It's going to be Alex soon.
Yeah.
But it's just, I laughed a lot because, like, wow, you're not even trying to.
Yeah.
You're not even trying to be subtle on
No,
this.
not at all. I mean, she just might as well have a big, I heart you shirt on while she... Yeah. But she's keeping it or trying to keep it a secret from her fellow DEO agents and Supergirl.
But it's just so not.
Yeah, it's that, right when her phone rings, she gets kind of excited when she sees who it is.
When Maggie kissed her girlfriend, you can just see the tear face.
She's had the very sad puppy dog look
again
right there.
We thought the previous episode where Maggie left to go on a date with this girl was a sad face. This time was like, wow.
It's like, it's just going to keep, it's like, is the next episode going to be her walking past a restaurant and seeing Maggie and her girlfriend in there, and then it starts raining and she's crying against the window? Let's just go all out on that story.
Oh. That has been a source of entertainment for me.
It has. But this is the type of show that can do that.
Yes.
You couldn't get away with that in, especially Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., not really in Flash.
It won't be...
It wouldn't be as funny, at least.
Well, it won't be as funny in the Flash.
Yeah.
It would be executed so much differently if it was S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
So, that's that.
They would have a serious...
Well, I don't think it would be as obvious.
Yeah.
I think it would be a big reveal that, say, the Alex version of, S.H.I.E.L.D. will like the S.H.I.E.L.D. version of Maggie Sawyer.
Right.
Won't be instantly when they first met. It's like, huh,
yeah.
You're being awfully friendly to this girl you're yelling at.
Yeah, just fall in love with an alien bar.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Alien Bar. So the big topic of the week, Supergirl, was Miss Martian.
Yes.
And I like how she got her name, Miss Martian. It's a ring name.
Yeah, from the Underground Fight Club.
Led by Jia Yang from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so nice to see her getting work again.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought that was pretty cool because, you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, but have they addressed John as the Martian Manhunter?
Within the DEO they have, and a little bit within Universe.
So they don't, but, they mostly just stick to John.
Mostly, yeah.
But they don't,
or Hank,
Okay, but they don't really call him the Martian Manhunter.
No. Okay. I mean, they've called him that, I think, once in a flashback in the first season.
So he has been called that.
Yeah.
Because when I was watching this episode, I was like, okay, so they've called her Miss Martian. Have they called you that? I don't really know. I know that's your name. But...
Yeah. But like he says in this episode, it's up to him which face he shows.
Yeah.
And he prefers to walk around as Hank because it's easier.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, when you're a green alien, even if you live in a world where aliens are quote unquote acceptable, it's probably still a better idea for the time to walk around as that guy. I
mean, there wouldn't be a secret bar and a secret underground fight club if aliens were completely accepted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I like her. I hope we'll see her again. Yeah. But me knowing Miss Martian's history, the big reveal.
The big reveal at the end wasn't really a big reveal.
If you didn't,
If you didn't know, it was great, yeah. But when she starts walking towards the mirror, I'm like, okay, I know where this is going.
Well, I was shocked that they showed it that soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, because every time she would transform into the Green Martian, I thought, okay, no, this is going to be the time. This is going to be the time.
Well, we were saying earlier how it set up a lot of things. And John basically, just rushing into everything when he met her, saying, oh my God, how'd you get out, blah, blah, blah. We should merge minds.
Yeah, we should merge that mental sexual tension there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, knowing how he feels... And, I like how they explained, he showed from his side, how he feels about being the last of the kind.
Yeah.
And her side.
Yeah.
And how she basically told him, your family is dead. Get over it.
Yeah, right.
They're gone.
Yeah.
We don't live on Mars. We live on Earth.
And, I mean, as harsh as it was, it's true.
Yeah.
That
speech, though, she said, you still pretend like you want to be there. Well, we're not.
Yeah.
You pretend like you have your family. You don't.
Right.
And I was like, whoa! I mean,
tell it like
accurate,
it is. Yeah.
Accurate.
Yeah.
But
like she said, she's been there for 300 years. She's, gotten over it. She's also coming from a different side than he is.
But, whenever John was explaining how, he saw his family get killed and everybody else get killed in the hands of the White Martians.
Yeah.
And I knew she was looking guilty because I was like, I know your secret, but I like how they kind of made it a red herring that her secret was that she was a fighter.
The Fight Club, the writers did great on that because even I was watching it like, okay, maybe they're not going with the comic version because they'll do that. Or I thought maybe,
maybe they're not going to tell us yet. So,
right,
but still, I thought it was a good reveal if you don't know who the character is.
Yeah.
But going back to setting things up, so we know how John feels about McGann and being Martians together.
I like how he always went McGann, Megan. It's like, let me pronounce it in Earthese for you here.
Because it's such a different pronunciation.
Right.
So it would be interesting the episode when he does find out about her.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see just, how he's going to react.
Yeah.
Is he going to try to kill her or like...
Yeah. Well, I'm guessing by some of the things that she said that it is going to turn out that she was one of the good White Martians that was trying to help, Green Martians out, because she does a story about as if she were the Green Martian who was rescued by a White Martian. So I'm thinking there's some truth in that.
But speaking on those topics like loneliness, I did like how guilt played into a factor.
Yeah.
At least for her. Because she is a White Martian. She could have been a good one, but she probably also done terrible things.
Yeah, and maybe she did terrible things before she turned good.
Who knows? She might be one of the terrible people that did something to John's family.
Yeah,
they could spin it that way. So
they could. Yeah,
we'll see.
Not only is your wife and daughters dead, I'm the one that killed them.
Of all the people that survived.
Yeah, and all the gin joints and all the
down. I come across you.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, well, that'll be interesting to see how that works whenever she comes back. Yeah. I looked at a couple future episodes. I don't see her name there, so they might leave her alone just for a bit.
Yeah.
Because 2 Martian CGIs,
that's some money there.
That's some money.
That's ABC money. We get CW money.
I like during the fight when they changed back to their human Earthling forms. It was more like, we're out of money, you have to fight. You have to fight as us now.
Right. Yeah. We have money for the stunt doubles or for the CGI. Which one do you want?
Let's see.
Now, what about Supergirl's less forced relationship? And I say less forced compared to the James Olsen relationship that. She's losing her racism.
She still had that racism.
She still has it, but
by God,
she's trying.
In the beginning, it was less angry racism this time. It was just more cynical, sarcastic. It's belittling racism.
It's like the people that start sentences, I'm not racist, but
exactly.
You're horrible people.
I was watching it again, it's like, I thought we were a little past this.
Well, and even her mom in the hologram, when she just starts going, oh yeah, he's from this race, and he does this, 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 and this. It's like, no, shut it off.
Exactly. I so far, I don't know where they're going to go with Mon-El.
Yeah.
I like him so far.
Yeah.
I love the frat boy party scene with Wynn. I actually chuckled really hard on that one.
I like that Wynn is finally getting more role here.
I don't know what it's going to lead into. Because I'm thinking, are you going to stay on the show? Or are you going to be like the season person and then you're going to leave somehow? I know in the comics that, he does leave eventually.
Yeah.
But again, whether they do that, and how they do that, don't know.
Yeah. Wynn kind of reminded me of Cisco in this episode, especially when he starts...
Wynn always reminds me of Cisco.
But especially when he starts buttering him up. He's like, so, who names these people? And, look at Supergirl's suit. Who made that?
The only thing that I hope is a surprise, because DC has a problem with surprises.
Yeah.
So they revealed exactly how Supergirl comes into play for the big crossover thing. My only wish is that maybe Cisco and Wynn meet each other just for a brief scene.
Yeah.
Just compare notes on superhero naming.
Yeah, because when he asked Wynn who names these people, my first thought was, well, Cisco. Oh wait, wrong show.
Maybe later.
Right universe, but wrong show. Yeah.
So that I enjoyed that stuff. Let's see, what else? that's pretty much it.
Yeah, nothing from the president.
Nothing from the president. We don't see that. That probably won't be said for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's Linda Carter money.
Yes. They just paid so much for all the Manhunter, the Martian scenes. So, they gotta cool down.
They gotta sell some advertisement first before they
It's
get
probably why you didn't see Supergirl or Mon-El, jump or fly.
Yeah.
Or use that much powers.
Yeah, you get a little bit in the flashback, but that's not it. It's almost like...
Oh, yeah, the big flashback where it shows Mon-El escaping Vaxxam. Mm-hmm. That's set money there.
Yeah.
That's decorating money.
And that's done great. I mean, the special effects they use in this show from the very first episode have impressed me, especially for it being a network show.
Right. I still have expectations for future things I want from Supergirl, but
like what?
Oh, Dean Cain, where are you?
Yeah.
Dean Cain, I know you're coming.
We know you don't cost as much as Linda Carter.
You do not.
Yeah, we love you, but
Dean Cain, where are you? And it's specifically, I want you to be that person.
Yeah, we need Cyborg Superman.
I want you to be that person. So that's that. Now I have new things to look forward to, being actually watching the show. So I really do want to see when John finds out about McGann.
Yeah.
What's going to happen on. So there's new things to look forward to, but I still have certain expectations.
So they found ways to keep you for the next week at least.
Yes. I will say that, like I said, I did read future, I think the next 2 episode plots. They don't interest me as much, but you got me in, so okay, I'll still watch them. I'm just not as excited.
Yeah. Now, since you're waiting for multiple things to kind of occur, do you think that'll help keep you in, even if it is a filler episode the next 1 or 2?
Well, I don't know. I'm interested now. I'm kind of interested week by week to see.
Okay.
Alex finally gets laid or not.
I know, right?
I think that's really where it's going to come in. It's is it? Are you guys? Are you guys?
I mean, somebody has to, we're not a crude show. We try to be family friendly, but seriously, somebody has to get laid because in Central City, the next town over as far as shows go, nobody is. So National City has to break the streak.
Well, every time someone does, someone dies.
Right.
So that might not be a good thing for them.
Yeah, but National City has to break the dying streak and just have an actual relationship succeed.
Speaking of Central City,
yes, that was my awkward segue into the Flash there.
Good episode, but didn't feel like it moved a lot of things.
Yeah.
Still a good episode.
I think they rushed the HR reveal.
Yeah.
Because I liked when he was talking into the little microphone pin thing. I liked that it gave us some doubt. And I wish that would have led over to the next episode.
I can kind of see it on both sides. One side, I like how they just kind of got out of the way. Because they play Tom Cavanaugh mysteries a lot now. Yeah. It's almost becoming comical. Yeah. Whoever Tom Cavanaugh's playing has a twist.
We can't trust you.
So I like how they just flat out said it. So there's no, they're not going to be internet forums that he's going to be so and so and so.
Right. Oh, there still will be.
There still will be. There always will be. But at least
But I trust him as a writer.
But at least for the time being, that's his secret.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also agree with you that wow, that was pretty fast.
Yeah, I was all right, we see him talking to the thing, and in my head I'm going, yep, see, another bad Harrison Wells. But they can send him right back to Earth 19, that's fine. Yeah. And then before the end of the episode, I'm a novelist.
And I actually am not smart.
Right.
I love that. He's like, aren't you, on my Earth, it triangulates, I don't know how to...
The screen is bigger. I mean, this guy does not know how to turn on a computer.
I just love Cisco. Oh my god.
But he can memorize your coffee order.
Yes.
Yes, even if there's 6 of you in the room.
Yes.
Yeah, he will get that on point.
I love his excuse of I'm the idea man. I'm the muse.
Yeah.
So, it was good performance by Tom Cavanaugh.
Yeah, and he did have a good point. It's what if someone is Hex here that I'm familiar with, I can help you. Yeah. And I was like, that actually makes sense. Yeah, I can talk my way out of this.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let's see what else happened. The monster.
The monster that I didn't like the monster because if you watch it, the monster doesn't interact with anything.
because it can't.
Right, because it can't. But it's like even from the beginning, there's like nothing. The only destruction that happens is like from cars running into each other or from Transformers exploding and stuff like that. So
smoke and mirrors.
So all the way from the beginning of it, I'm like, okay, what's with the monster?
Yeah.
It didn't frighten me at all.
Come to find out, the monster was just a plot point for Malfoy's character.
Yes, the big turnaround for him there, because Malfoy does not trust Gryffindors. I mean, metahumans.
So, we found that out in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of led to
because
odd reason.
He tells on Barry. So Barry gets called to the principal's office.
And you here know exactly what it's like to be told on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good showcase for Tom Felton to do different stuff. But
it was his episode.
It was him
and HR. That was.
But I didn't feel like we 100% needed that one.
Yeah.
I think we needed like Tom Felton's character to not be as angry at Barry for whatever reason, because that was kind of getting old. It's like, okay, come on, guy.
I wanted to hear like he sold Iris from you or something big.
Yeah. So good job performance-wise on him, but plot-wise, I thought,
It's one of those episodes where if you read the synopsis and found out that HR was a novelist and that Felton no longer hates Barry as much, then that you don't have to see the whole episode. You don't have to see that the monster was a hologram done by a teenage boy who just, wanted some attention.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The big part of the episode I thought that was the most important was Caitlin.
Yeah.
But I do hope that they do this Killer Frost thing soon.
Yeah.
It's starting to be, they're only, when you freeze your computer and they find it in the dumpster, there's going to be so many times that they're going to find frozen things. So there's
going to be questions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In my mind, Score probably has questions about how Barry got out of the mirror in the previous episode. So, finding a frozen computer.
Yeah, because she goes to her mom to try to find help, and they test her on it. They test her on what I thought the word was tungsten.
Yes.
But come to find out in the DC universe, it's tungstenin.
Yes.
And I was like, I just want to go in there and correct her. But yeah, her mom, tells her not to use her powers because the more she uses it, the less she'll be able to control it. And of course, anytime she has a strong emotion, she uses it.
I remember reading the synopsis and thinking that her mom was this cold person. Cold.
Yeah.
Who's going to treat her like a lab rat.
Yeah.
And it looked like it, but it wasn't. It was the assistant dude.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a good twist.
Because he was basically saying, we could use her. Like, use.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which, still, you're a scientist.
Mm-hmm.
You just tested this girl who can freeze things at, unmeasurable heights.
Yeah.
And you grab her?
Right.
Forcefully?
Yeah. Not the smartest idea, yeah.
Without backup of
He might have science smarts, but no common sense.
Yes, because immediately he probably lost a hand from frostbite.
Yeah.
So that wasn't smart on him.
Yeah, but I think this kind of, she's been good for, 3 years, basically. Mm-hmm. So I think they want to turn her evil, but you can't do it overnight. You kind of have to give her that reason to, and this is how you build a supervillain.
Yes.
So I think that's one reason.
Well, I still stand by, if you're going to make Danielle Panabaker Killer Frost, she's got to be bad.
She has to.
She's got to be bad. And if you want Danielle Panabaker to be Team Flash good guy, they got to find a way to reverse it.
Right.
Because, I'm just not keen on, hey, I'm good Killer Frost. I'm a scientist, but, when it comes down to it, I'll free some people.
Right, yeah.
No, I don't like that.
Yeah, no. They got to have evil Killer Frost. I mean, that's...
Because especially if you're leaning towards, Wally getting his powers from Flashpoint, so everybody on the team is superpowered.
Right, yeah.
I mean,
except Iris.
Except Iris and Joe.
Yeah.
And HR.
HR definitely does not have superpowers.
That we know of. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
But
he has a drumstick, but
exactly.
Yeah.
But still, it's just, that's a lot of firepower for that team. So if anything were to happen now, like, you should be able to beat anybody.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'm hoping in the next episode, or at least the next two episodes, we see her just take that downward spiral.
I do read a couple episodes leading up.
If y'all haven't guessed listening, I don't read any synopsi. TeeVo reads almost all of them.
Yeah, well, it's,
Yeah, no, that gives us two different views.
I get bored. It's mostly out of boredom sometimes.
Yeah.
If I was busy, I probably wouldn't do it, but I get bored a lot.
But even, the synopsis doesn't always give...
No.
Everything.
Well, they're episode synopsis. It's just whenever plot. Certain DC executive producers spill the beans on things, that's when I have a problem.
That's when you find out that Jesse Quick is going to be in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the episode next, I think, is less of a Caitlin one. I think it's building, from the way it sounds like, it's building back towards the Kid Flash, because I think it's Wally-centric episode, and he's been having dreams about being Kid Flash.
Yeah, because we had Wally for 2 seconds in this episode?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it'll focus back on Wally being Kid Flash, whether he actually becomes Kid Flash again in this next episode, not this one coming up. Because we have an election next Tuesday.
Yeah.
So we have very little things to talk about next week.
Yeah.
Actually, no, we will not, because I will be seeing Doctor Strange this weekend.
Yeah.
So we'll have talk about Supergirl.
Supergirl and Doctor Strange.
So we got that. But Tuesday, there will be no episode. The election, so no show wants to compete with that.
Right, yeah.
But the episode on
we watch network shows, so that's... On all the major channels is going to be election stuff.
So the 15th is when The Flash will come back, and it's a Wally-centric episode. The week after that is Kevin Smith's episode.
Okay.
And it's titled Killer Frost. So I think that's where we'll get maybe the climax of that arc.
Okay.
And then the next week is the big crossover.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if he'll have another non-existent book as the center of the show.
Maybe.
Yeah, because I went straight on Amazon looking for that Lost Dinosaur or whatever the thing was called. Was not on there.
I hope that Jason Mewes comes back.
Yeah.
I think...
he kind of has to.
I don't know if we told you this story, but I went to a convention, the same one where I met Ming Na at, and Jason Mewes was there. And, I talked to him for a bit, and I told him that I love his cameo in The Flash.
Yeah.
And he says, dude, it's so awesome, man. I told Kevin, every time you do an episode, I should come in there and be and I was like, no, I'm serious, you should be on all of them.
Yeah.
And but just switch up the pronouns. Maybe on, Supergirl, this one sucks, the other one's so-and-so better. That's my dad's car! That's my brother's car! That's my cousin's car!
The whole family.
Exactly. Yeah. That should be his only part, but I think it'd be funny.
Yeah.
And he agreed. I like that for a split second, our minds were...
You merged.
We merged. We were like, that should be your part.
Yeah.
So, I hope...
So Kevin Smith, we know you're listening. Go out, make it happen.
Yeah, and we say that on the episodes he's refilmed.
Yeah. So go, if you haven't done it, reshoot.
Well, luckily in that scene, it barely has anything to do sometimes.
Yeah, you can shoot that anywhere with it.
Exactly, and CGI, the part where the car gets destroyed.
Yeah.
So I thought it was not a filler per se of an episode. It slowly moved the pieces together.
Yeah.
So I think the big piece that moved in this episode was Killer Frost.
Yeah, definitely.
Other ones,
But it's also one of the things, we know that she's got powers. Nothing was really revealed to us,
Yeah.
Yeah. We now know that the more she uses her powers, the less she has control over.
I hope that, the reveal to, her teammates, hopefully is in the next episode, at the end or something.
Yeah.
It could still be a Wally episode.
And let it go very poorly.
Yes.
Yeah. Just let it be
Caitlin is an awkward person anyway.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine, she's going to be like, I have powers.
Yeah. Now let's get back to work.
Deal with the people.
Yeah.
It's going to come out in a very awkward way.
Now where's my iced coffee?
Oh. It can be anywhere.
Yeah, right?
Just give me any coffee.
And Cisco's like, that's my French roast.
Oh, well... Get another one.
Yeah.
I have powers now. I don't know if I told you that.
Yeah, when she was sitting down with Cisco in this one, I thought she was going to, metahuman to metahuman. It's
I thought that was going to be a nice moment that maybe at least she hopefully would hint heavily towards something like that.
Yeah. You know how you have powers, Cisco? What if someone else on the team had powers?
And he'll be like, yeah, Barry does. I meant like someone else.
Someone with long hair like you?
Do you know something about HR? No! I mean...
Does Joe have powers?
No, I mean, you know, but what maybe, well, okay, yeah, what if Joe had powers? Yeah. How would you feel?
What would you name Joe?
Yeah, if he had, like, ice powers.
Joe Blow.
Oh my god.
Kevin Smith, make it happen in your episode.
Whenever you do another one.
Whenever you do another one, yeah. Have it be a dream sequence. I don't care.
I think you're doing the Arrow. Put it in Arrow. I don't care.
Arrow. Yeah, we don't... Put it in Gotham. We really don't care what happens with that.
Just so you know, Kevin Smith, if you do Gotham or Arrow, I'm not watching them.
Yeah, no, that's... I can't go there.
I'm just putting it out there. I'll watch Jason Mewes' scene.
Yeah.
Which you better have him do.
Right, yeah. I would say, though, that I would be...
YouTube.
I would be more willing to watch Arrow than Gotham. If I had to choose.
Well, actually, you know, I will be actually attempt to watch the entire crossover this time.
Yeah.
So, yes, people, that means Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow.
That does not mean we'll review those two shows on here. We might.
Because I will not know anything.
Right.
So these
people were there, and
if they reference stuff beyond the crossover plot, I'm not going to know it.
Right.
And I think I'll be fine with it.
Yeah, basically, yeah. It's like there were people there, and they were fighting, and then the Flash came in.
Yeah, and Supergirl. And they beat the people that we saw in the previous episode. Right. I know that part. Oh no, so they revealed it's about so-and-so. Wouldn't know what it means anyway. And
then the Green Arrow came in. I only recognized him because he was the one shooting arrows wearing green. And he had a crew with him, and I don't know him.
Speaking of crew now,
yes.
I think we're done with...
I'm doing all the awkward segues
I think we're done with the Arrowverse now.
Oh, yeah.
But now...
On to Marvel.
Now to the main event.
Yes.
Like I said, we don't usually rate what was the best episode of the week. Because every episode's its own thing. Yeah. Every show's its own thing.
Yeah, they're all three different shows, yeah.
Very different shows. But this one, by God, took the cake this week.
This one, if this episode was just a little Marvel one-shot thing, it would have worked. I mean, they would have had to take out some of the stuff, but just as the Ghost Rider stuff...
Hasselhoff.
Yeah. Hasselhoff didn't play in the version you watched?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
But he should make a cameo after that now.
As the Night Ghost Rider?
Yeah.
He's the Ghost Rider who gave, Robbie his powers. Everybody thought it was Nicolas Cage, but it was really David Hasselhoff.
Oh, my God.
But yeah, this would have just worked fine by itself as a Marvel one-shot sort of thing.
It's like we established before. I read... the synopsis of future episodes and see the title.
Yeah.
And I've been staring at the title of this episode for about, 3 weeks now. When they revealed that this was the episode, the explosive origin of the Ghost Rider. And it was titled The Good Samaritan.
Right.
So me thinking without any context of what's going to happen, they're probably talking about Robbie.
Right, yeah.
Obvious choice.
Yeah.
But, oh my God. We'll get into a little more of the plot.
Yeah.
But...
Do you want to do the B plot before we do the A plot?
I don't know what plot this is, but it was just amazing. So, I don't watch the episodes when they air. Because I can't. I'm at work. Yeah. So I have to watch them, whenever Hulu uploads them. I have a habit of watching it the second.
So at 5 a.m.?
At 5 a.m. when they upload it, I will watch it. There's no, I'll get up early to watch it tomorrow.
Right.
I am staying up until it comes on. So in a way, I'm almost watching it when it comes on.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I have to avoid spoilers for, the remainder of Tuesday night going into Wednesday morning. So,
which, when you get bored at work, can be very difficult.
I've trained myself to be very careful on S.H.I.E.L.D. parts.
Yeah.
The only time I spoiled myself, both having to do with Deathlock, was for season 2. I accidentally spoiled myself that Deathlock was the surprise hero in the episode, and I had to find out if Deathlock died or not, which he didn't.
Right.
Nonetheless, I saw an article. It was like, so-and-so, spoiler, and they were careful about it. They didn't say who. Yeah. It said in big bold letters, spoiler, shows up on tonight's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh my God, who could it be? And then my mind wandered.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, well, Doctor Strange comes out this weekend. Is there a chance Benedict could come on? I mean, he has done TV.
Yeah.
It's not the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, well, he has nothing to do with that other than just being frivolous.
Right.
Which, I mean, if they want to be frivolous,
go
forth.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, is it Mephisto? You know, is it the devil? Okay. And I did also think, could it be another Ghost Rider?
Right.
So, you know, I was thinking of many things. And, you know, when Gabe was telling his perspective of the night that he became crippled and Robbie became Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
I love when Robbie was like, do you remember what happened after the crash? And he's yes. He's like, yeah. I couldn't feel my legs, but then the Good Samaritan came in. And then you hear... I was like, no.
Yeah.
No. No.
I was on the edge of my seat on that one.
And then, you know, I like that they were clever on Gabe's perspective.
Right, yeah.
Because, you know, it's just a guy on a motorcycle.
Yeah, could be anybody.
And, you know, they didn't show his face.
Right.
And Robbie woke up, you're thinking, okay, it still could be anybody. And then Robbie was like, well, that's right, but there was more to that.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it showed that he essentially sold his soul to the devil before he died. And, you know, you saw the guy on the motorcycle, you're thinking, okay. And then it was the Ghost Rider.
Right, yeah.
Now, they haven't 100% explicitly said that it was Johnny Blaze. But it's pretty much
It's a motorcycle and it's a guy with a flaming skeleton head. Put it together.
It's pretty much. But that reveal paid off so well.
Oh, yeah.
And I was telling it to another friend. That's the difference between Marvel and DC. You know, the DC Arrowverse shows, while, you know, they bring cool stuff in, they let the cat out of the bag a lot.
Yeah.
Like, with episode 2, we talked about how cool it would have been if Jay Garrick showed up, and we didn't know it.
Right.
But we did, and, you know, it was an expectation.
Yeah, it was still cool, but it wasn't as cool.
With this, we had no idea.
No.
And that was such a better payoff.
And I love that they told it as Gabe's story and Robbie's story. Because like you said, when Gabe's telling it, he's like, yeah, I was under the car, and I thought you were dead. And yeah, I was like, I was. I thought that was kind of cheesy right there, but it was like good cheese.
Yeah.
And, you know, you see everything, even though you're looking at Gabe, you see everything through his eyes, basically.
Yeah.
Because he didn't see who pulled him out. You know, he just got pulled out, and that was
that.
it. Yeah, and then he went over to... This strange guy went over to Robbie, and from his point of view, with the car in the way, all he saw was a hand come down, and Robbie's back to life.
Yeah. So that was just such a great reveal.
Yeah.
And such I mean,
that was awesome. Because they could have gone anywhere with.
They could have gone anywhere, and the way the plot synopsis and how hush hush they can be, it really could have.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't know. You would just accept however they do it.
Yeah.
So a reveal like that is just paid off. So that's us gushing about the Ghost Rider reveal.
Yeah. And I like that they did that like up front. They didn't make you wait the entire episode to find out who the Good Samaritan was.
And it's kind of cool how that happened because it was just an origin. You know, there was, you know, I like how they paid attention to the actual events going on.
Yeah.
And that was just that. So, good job.
Yeah.
Good job, guys.
Yeah, because while this story is being told in the containment, you know, unit thing, that's you know, sitting on the bottom of the Zephyr, the director.
This episode seems so much like a mid-season finale.
Yeah,
and it's crazy that it's not.
Yeah,
there are more episodes before the actual mid-season finale. I read and saw that they will not be back until the 29th.
Okay.
Which makes sense because next week's the election. And they could come back the 15th, but then they have to take the next week off for Thanksgiving break.
Right.
So, you know, I like they're just like, let's just take a huge break. So when we come back full force.
So it's like a mini mid-season
It is. Well, that was a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
For a non-mid-season, you know, cliffhanger.
Yeah.
It was pretty good because you know, jumping to everything that happened, Eli is a bad guy, so that was good.
Yeah.
I like that they didn't, because they, you know, that part they do make some good twist on. Like Jai Yang and, you know, Mr. Hyde. You know, they can definitely flip the switch on, like, the villain.
Yeah, who's bad, who's good. Yeah.
So, you know, ever since they introduced Eli, you know, they portrayed him as the victim of it all.
Right, yeah, wrongfully imprisoned, just, you know...
Up until, like, the last second.
Yeah.
he was still just, oh no, he's poor guy.
Yeah, he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's all it was.
Working with horrible people.
Yeah.
But no.
No, he's a horrible person.
He is a horrible person.
Yeah.
And that was a nice reveal on who the big bad was. Because, up until this point, we're like, okay, the ghosts are the opposing force of the show so far. Yeah. But there hasn't been a big bad, so it's nice to see something like that.
Yeah, because I didn't want the ghosts to be the big bad. That's... Yeah.
And it turns out the ghosts aren't even bad.
Yeah, no. One thing with the ghosts is when they're doing the flashbacks, and I love how they do it as you have it now, and then you have it back in the day. So there's no like set time.
Yeah,
that was
an interesting thing because the previous flashbacks on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had shown an exact year.
Yeah.
So,
but this is just like back in the day.
Yeah. So I thought that was an interesting take.
Yeah. But one corny thing, and this may be just me reading too much into the props there, when they do the little matter maker thing. I don't know if you're familiar with a Ninja blender.
I don't.
That's what it looks like.
Yes.
Yeah. When I saw him do that, I'm like, they spray painted a Ninja blender for this, didn't they?
Oh, now Eli is a Ninja blender.
I know, yeah. But when I saw that, I was like, it didn't take me out of the scene. But when they showed it the second time, I'm like, yeah, no, that's totally a Ninja blender.
Hey,
right there.
There are a lot of good ghost. They had 2 ghost writers in this. They're like, you know what? Come on.
We have no money left.
We're just like, hey, is that a Ninja blender in our kitchen? Okay, bring it in.
We'll
reimburse it another time.
Yeah. Nobody's been using it. We wanted smoothies and nobody makes them. So.
Come on, bring it in. Bring it.
Put it to use.
I didn't notice that, but I will. Whenever I watch that episode again, I will think about that.
Yeah. Now anybody who sees it cannot unsee it.
Thank you on that one.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. brought to you by Ninja Blenders.
So the big plot around, I don't think there really was a B plot.
No. But I mean, just as far as what the title and what the expectations led you to is mostly the origin story. So I would consider the director going around the Zephyr and all that is kind of the maybe A2 if we don't want to go straight to B.
Well, because everything that happened, was with each other.
Yeah.
The only thing setting up maybe a B plot is where is Simmons?
Yeah.
That was something I thought they were.
Yeah, because Simmons gets, rushed away right at the beginning
with a bag on her head.
With a bag on her head, yeah.
So I thought we were going to find out. Well, then this was before I thought there was going to be a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
So Simmons is carted off to somewhere, and Fitz cannot get a hold of her.
Yeah.
Because the director,
doesn't want him to.
Doesn't want anybody to know.
Right.
So that's going to be a question.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that would suck for her if he dragged her to another alien planet.
Yeah.
But I think by this time Simmons would be like, all right, time to break out the alien survival kit.
She'll do it in half the time.
Exactly.
Instead of a full episode, it's just going to be a 15-minute part.
It's like, I know what I'm doing here.
Yeah. Either that or she'll just sit on the ground and be like, not again. Just
not again.
Yeah.
And the big cliffhanger at the end. So Eli is now the Ninja Blender.
Yeah.
He can create matter out of nothing, which is what his big diabolical plan was to get a hold of the Darkhold with.
Yeah.
And when he set off the machine, Coulson did his best. Fitz also did his best. And Coulson and Fitz did their best to try to stop the machine.
Yeah.
But as they established in the episode, prior to all that, you can't turn it off.
Right.
Once it's on, you can't turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
So they were doing their best to try to flip switches and pull sockets out. And when, I guess, Eli transformed,
yeah,
a big, kind of explosion, wave went through, kind of like the particle accelerator.
Yeah.
And
so now they're all metahumans.
And Eli walks out, but there is no Coulson. There is no Fitz. There also is no Robbie.
Yeah.
So, and that's where it ended. It's like Eli can make matter, and 3 of the most important people on the show are not currently there.
Right.
And to top it all off, Marvel's like, see you in 3 weeks.
Yeah. And by the way, we're not going to put out any more synopsis.
And believe me, I've been checking.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that was such the weirdest thing, up until this one, there was no future one. And for good reason, I can see.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure whatever happens next, we'll have to do with Eli getting the powers and possibly Ghost Rider coming back. Johnny Ghost Rider.
Right.
You can't say that if you haven't seen this episode.
Right.
So, kudos to Marvel on the mystery.
Yeah, nothing on Wikipedia, nothing on ABC's website, nothing.
So, I love how S.H.I.E.L.D. can keep us on our toes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, really. You know, with Supergirl so far for me, I get where they're going.
Yeah.
Flash, I get where they're going.
Yeah.
I still like the reveals, but I get where they're going.
Mm-hmm.
I love each season of S.H.I.E.L.D. I've just been, I've been amazed at what happens.
Yeah.
The first season, I watched it with a couple people who I feel like, they're writers themselves, so naturally they can probably write better than S.H.I.E.L.D., but they're not writing for S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right.
But, every time something happened, they were the cynical, like, oh, yeah. I saw that one coming.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, let's just enjoy the episode.
Yeah.
So, but I was surprised. And then season 2, well, with everything, season 3, even though, we rank it as, one of the weaker seasons in our eyes.
Right, yeah.
But, when stuff happened, like, it was amazing. So
it was a roller coaster.
Yeah, so far with season 4, my God.
Yeah.
I'm speechless sometimes.
Now, what do you think about the director as of this episode?
I think he started showing more of the colors we thought he was.
Yeah.
I still don't think he's a bad guy, but it's how we described him when we saw him in episode 2. Mm-hmm. He's the boss who we don't hate you.
Right.
We just don't like you.
But we like to not like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not nefarious evil.
Yeah.
You're like the one where, like, if you show up, around our workspace, we're not scared. Like, we just would rather you not.
Yeah.
Like, go away.
Yeah, it's like, can you just go sit in your office and let us do our jobs?
So I think he showed more of those type of colors.
Yeah, and I like the Ghost Rider director fight there. Yeah.
And
Coulson tries to jump in.
That
was not the smartest move on Coulson's part.
Speaking of Ghost Rider, finally they did it. Finally, they addressed that containment pod.
It's for Inhumans.
It's not for him.
Right, yeah.
Because I just love, like, he's like, it's going to hold, right? Oh, yeah. They've hold so much worse. Yeah.
And then he asks Fitz, so we're still okay, right?
And then when he popped that door open, I love Fitz's face. That is impossible.
But I almost see it as Robbie took it as a challenge. It's like, nobody can get through there.
He took it as a challenge.
Okay.
He took it as a challenge the first time they put him in there.
Yeah.
And I think he would have used Hellfire the first time. I like that this time he probably didn't because Daisy and Gabe were in them. So he's like, maybe I shouldn't heat this thing up.
It's like, I got to protect them, but I got to get out of here at the same time.
And I like... they probably couldn't use Hellfire. Again, money. But I like that it was a fist fight between Mace and Robbie. So. Yeah. I
mean, there was some spectacle to it, but it wasn't... I mean, he could have probably taken out Mace, if the budget would have allowed it.
I think he had many ways he could have took him out. But maybe he wanted to make a better point with the fist. Mm-hmm. But, this episode, I can't wait to see what's coming up next.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see, now that we have a big bad, what they could do. Are they going to bring in new characters, like magical characters? Right. Is Johnny going to come back, or is that kind of like a one-off thing? Yeah. If they ever do his own show, it's like, well, we already got him in that one, so you already seen him. Yeah. But here's
he exists.
Here's
his
actual
story.
Show.
Yeah.
Does this call for like Deathlock to come back? Mm-hmm. If they're fighting someone who can create matter, they need all the firepower they can get.
Oh yeah.
If Eli makes metal, Joey's pretty good at metal stuff.
Yes. Do we still have his number?
They need someone to spot. If Eli does secret organization type stuff, Bobby and Hunter are probably free.
Right. Yeah.
So there's so many doors that are opening up right now. Yeah. And I'm so excited. Yeah. And I'm gonna be crying because there are only gonna be probably three, maybe 4, probably 3 though episodes left of the season so far. Right. Before their big 2-month break.
Right, yeah.
So
and then we don't have Agent Carter or anything to look forward to. Even though Agent Carter did get mentioned. She got a little shout out.
Thank you for that. That's another reason I love this episode. Mm-hmm. It didn't tie any loose ends.
Yeah.
100% on Agent Carter, but I love that it mentioned
The callback.
the callback
Yeah.
more than just saying her name.
Right.
It was like, yeah, that's right. That was a plot point in season 2. They
Yeah.
were doing that. And, well, that's what happened to them.
If only ABC would have let them finish.
So it's like, oh, that's what happened to the company? Hey, well,
yeah.
I'm glad I know that now.
And I really see it as the writers sticking it to ABC when they put stuff like that in
Yeah.
there. It's like, hey, we had more to work with. If you just let us do
Yeah.
let's do an hour and a half made for TV movie or something.
Which still could happen.
Yeah.
So
because Marvel is good at keeping things hushed.
Well, so we could still get something like that, but I just can't wait to see what the next 3-4 episodes are gonna do.
Yeah,
and then I'm gonna be like, no, why did you end it there?
So what Netflix needs to do is go ahead and, after the first half of the season is done, go ahead and get that on Netflix so we can rewatch it all again.
Oh, wouldn't that be something?
That would.
But they won't.
They won't. They have other Marvel stuff to sell.
Like, we're trying to get like the Defenders and Iron Fist, properly made. And
yeah, we don't want you watching S.H.I.E.L.D. We want you watching our stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Under the same umbrella, of course.
Yeah.
So next week, let's see. We have Supergirl to play with.
Yep.
And that is it for TV shows.
Yeah.
And this week I will be seeing Doctor Strange, so we'll be talking about that.
Yep, and we'll decide if it's going to be a spoiler-full or spoiler-free episode at that time. The Supergirl stuff will be spoiler, of course, but we'll see if the movie has anything like really huge to reveal. We'll probably keep.
I think it does because there's already rumblings of the mid-credits scene that is important, and there are some things in the movie. Okay. Yeah, we'll decide.
Yeah. So, until next week.
Yep.